this Hangout is on there live, and it is. So returning back to the videos of this Get Ride application, Code Kata. I think this is volume 23 of F# live coding. And basically in the last video, I added a requirement that you should only be able to request a ride if you have a price for that ride. And so that test that I wrote was this right here: prices provided after pickup and destination, right? And then I have a cannot request ride on failure to get price. So those are the two tests that I wrote. And me writing that test with that requirement resulted in 7 tests failing. Okay. So now in this video, I want to get all these tests to pass. And I think I want to refactor some of these tests where these handlers, this handler's value can be mocked out. And I just throw that inside of here, saying mock dot get ride handlers. And that'll reduce this. It will remove this line for all these different tests. Okay. So I added a requirement for you can only receive a pending ride, or you can only request a ride if you have a established price for that ride. Okay, so all these tests, they're failing now. And so I went ahead and hit the ignore on it. So now they're all being skipped, and I had checked it in. Now I want to handle that. So how would I handle that? Well, basically we have a view model dot get where we at? Get price. That just needs to be called. And I think that's all I need to do, I think. I guess I'll find out. If I were to remove this and put this in the scope of the test that I want to view, then I can do Control RT and that test now passes. Okay, so I just need to add a get price before I trigger a request for getting a ride. That looks like that's all I need to do. So I'll do that over here. I'll do that over here. I'll do that. That fee is deducted after ride. That still needs to be handled. I'll do that right here. I'll do that right here. And I'll do that. Right here. So this ignore can be removed. 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 And this ignore can be removed. And up here, that ignore can be removed. So then I do run all. And that's all fine. This fails because I haven't filled out this test yet. Fee is deducted after ride, which maybe I want to handle in this video. Within angle brackets, hit ignore. Okay. All the other tests pass. Now, fee is deducted after a ride. How is that supposed to be handled? Well, the ride ended viewModel.fee should equal mock.fee. That looks fine. What I want to do is this handle right here is the function for what? If I do that, this is get handler, but that should really be called get ride completed handler. Get ride ended handler, like that. Okay. Control Shift B. And that's going to call handle. And so that on ride completed gets executed. And that will call a tracker.terminate. That tracker.terminate will stop a timer, dispose that timer object, and trigger an event for it being terminated. Okay. That event is this tracker.terminated right here event, in which we set the ended property of this in route view model to true. So that is probably where we want to address our fees deducted after ride, where we probably want to say, in addition to our function doing that, we probably want to do something like, how do I want to do this? I want to broadcast. How do I want to do this? This get ride ended handler. Or should I say this on ride completed handler calls the tracker.terminate, and it should also say, I don't know, something like deduct fee, and that could be an account. Okay, deduct fee. And that fee is going to be, this is the in route. So how is this going to work? maybe that doesn't belong in the en route view model. Maybe that belongs in the ride ended view model, where we request the fee, which is right here, and that should already be injected. The fee should already be injected for a ride ended. What I mean by that is before we are able to get a ride, we already get a price. And that price is here. We have a request.price. That's handled right there. And so this request fee, that's an after ride. And that, I think, is no longer relevant. We don't request a fee after the ride, or translated, we don't request a price after the ride. We request the price before the ride. Now, after the ride, we want to deduct the price, or we want to pay the fee, right? So I'm not sure what that really, not sure what the best way of saying that, but we want to pay the fee after the ride, and that is going to take the price, and that is going to, that ultimately is going to hit an external server, right? So I feel like that should be a result type of okay error. All right, that's what the result type is. If it's successful, then we probably get a receipt ID or a ride receipt, something like this, ride receipt. And okay, well, because it's talking to an external system, it should be a result type regardless. And if it's successful, it's a ride. Oh shoot, it's supposed to be ride receipt. And if it's not, then it's going to be an error description, something like that. Okay, this ride receipt is not recognized, but it's here in my account specification dot language. So in my ride specification, I need to add a reference to my account, if I'm able to, account specification. Hopefully that's not going to be a circular reference. Okay, and that gets kind of recognized. So then here I can say, first of all, I want to put system namespaces or imports up top. And I probably want to move that over here. And then I can say open accounts. Let me start over. Open account dot specification dot language, like that. Okay. And now everything should be happy so far. After the ride, you pay a fee. That's going to be a price. And, well, this probably shouldn't be a price. The price should be embedded in the context of what the ride was. So if I attempt to get references on price, of course it says nothing found. Let me Control Shift B. And there's going to be some errors in here. And over here it says that request fee is not recognized. Okay. And I agree. I think that that may not be needed anymore. Some ride fee. That is going to be some ride fee, I think, is going to be price. Okay, so maybe this over here is, what's the difference between a fee and a price? Well, let me see. A fee is defined as a payment made to a professional person or to a professional or public body in exchange for advice or services. So it's a payment made. A price is the quantity of a price is the quantity of payment or compensation given by one party to another in return for one unit of goods, whatever. In modern economy, prices are generally expressed in units. All right. So to me, a fee is something that is kind of like owed. And to me, a price is something that is quoted. That's the way I understand the difference between a price and a fee. I say that because I would like to use the right terminology as best as I can. And so I still think that some fee is needed. This request fee right here, that I don't think we have, yeah, that's not being used anymore. This some ride fee should be end of ride. That end of ride is going to have that right there. Okay. Ride requests. There's a payment type in here. But there's also a ride fee, which is right here. It's ride, which is the end of ride and the amount. Okay. I kind of think that it shouldn't really matter, and I should probably just call this price. I'm going to get rid of that for right now, and I'm going to call this price. And this price isn't recognized in our core library for Get Ride. So it's in our ride specification language. Common. Do that right there. Call that price. Okay. Now what? Control Shift B. And if I go to my mock over here, it's going to continue to expose issues. There's no longer a fee. Call it price. Okay. And over here, our ride ended view model, end of ride. That should be a, I'm kind of thinking end of ride should have a price on it. This end of ride right here. I kind of think that a ride should have a price. There's a ride fee, but I think a ride request should have the price embedded in it. That's what I think. Where do I have this ride fee referenced at? That's a ride receipt, whatever. Okay. So you have your end of ride right here, and we inject a request fee, which I had in here earlier, but that doesn't matter anymore. Your end of ride already has a fee. And so that is going to I'm kind of stuck in the design of this right now because I kind of feel, let me go back. I kind of feel like a price should be in a ride request. And I think I'm just going to put it in here. Price equals, let's say price in here. Now that isn't recognized because the price is defined below it. Okay, so this ride request is bundled with everything associated to a ride. Okay. In regards to, if I attempt to build this, I'm still going to have hella errors. I could go to my mock over here, and if I already have the price in my end of ride, then I don't need the request fee in here. And so I have 15 errors. I can get rid of that over here. And get rid of that. Get rid of that. And for this ride ended, this is going to be a I don't even need generate fee. I don't need pickup or destination. I don't need that. This all I need is here, let fee equals, and it's going to be end of ride dot I don't have access to that because it's private, but this is internal. I should say end of ride get price, or get fee, something like that. Okay. So in the end of ride, I have I'm not even sure if ride fee is still needed in here. For end of ride, there's now a let get fee, and that's going to take a end of ride that's going to take the end of ride, and we are going to say that's going to be equal to it's going to return a price. All right, so maybe I could do that right here. And I can say that this end of ride, or I could just call this ride for right now. That let's say that this ride dot, and then it's unfortunately going to be ride dot ride because all this stuff is nested in states dot price, and this right here is I feel like I should name this to en route ride, and then name this to this would be pending ride, and then this would be ride request. That would probably be better, but I'm not going to focus on that right now. So we have get fee. Control Shift B is to build. And Visual Studio freezes. And then my ride ended. That get fee right there is okay. This I feel like should build. And why is this still not? Oh, mutable. Mutable like this. Okay. And now I have 14. This ride receipt right here is your price. And this is price. And I mean, this is kind of redundant because the price is already in here. Over here, we can have price equals, and then you can have some, kind of do some price or some fee, some fee, like that. With some fees not being recognized because it's probably somewhere else, just way down here. So I can bring some phi up here, something like that. So now I have 11 errors. This generate phi here, that's not needed. I don't think it's needed. This view model, that is already handled there. So I don't need to have this tracker on here. And let me try to remove that noise. Control Shift B. Phi is not defined. Okay, you're right, because that's quad. Well, in this case, it's pay is validated card. I guess that could be quad price. Okay, one more error. Control Shift B. And that looks like it's going to build. Everything builds. Can I have this up here now? And what if I just happen to do this like that? And what if I just happen to do something like this? What if I just happen to close everything like that? Okay. Okay. Now, if I return back to this test over here, I want to ignore you for right now, and I just want to run all these other tests and see if all these other tests are still passing. So I'm trying to run. Are all you other tests going to pass? All the tests pass. Okay. So now I can return back to my skip test right here. Phi is deducted after ride. When I call handle, then what should happen is this handle right here is get end of ride handler or get ride ended handler. This on ride completed is the handler for it. I'll call tracker.terminate, but I should also call a I don't know. There should probably be a handler in here that I should invoke. We could call it pay phi handler, something like that. And this pay phi handler should, how should that work? This pay phi handler should, all this is in route. So I'm returning back to the same issue I had earlier. I'll go to this ride ended test. What I should have is here, I should have that's the ride ended view model right here. Okay. And that ride ended view model there's a fee, but when I call this handle, the handle is for the en route view model. And that kills off, remember, that kills off the tracker. Now, I care about this ride ended view model. This ride ended view model is going to, here's the mock over here for ride ended. Mock ride ended view model, and then it en route. Okay. And this here takes the end of ride. This is the ride ended. There's a fee right here. Okay. And here for ride ended, maybe I want to have a pay fee handler, maybe. And that pay fee handler can probably be, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? I feel like this, it can't be in the constructor. This should, I'm not sure what the right way of doing this is. Looks like we don't need this after ride, right? Or do we? Your ride ended view model just shows the state of the fee. And it'll probably have some other things in here, such as rating of the driver and a whole bunch of other stuff. But it doesn't look like it should expose any behavior about paying a fee. That should just, I think, should be done behind the scenes. Okay, so where does that leave me? This handle right here, this get ride ended handler right here, that was in my en route view model for tracking. What I want to do is ultimately this refactor thing, this red-green refactor, this is the actual logic that's going to be used in my app logic. And so here, I'm going to have a something like pay fee. Pay fee of what? Pay fee of, in this case, there's going to be this mock ride ended. Mock ride ended. That's a ride state. It doesn't matter which one. The price is already locked in. Or is it this en route? It's supposed to be an en route ride. That en route ride should have a price. Something like this. That pay fee should be a let pay fee, and then you have your price equals, and then you would have a some external system, which we'll call mock dot mock what? Not sure yet. Mock something. I have a pay ride in here. Okay. And that pay ride is going to, it says I need to add an assembly to account specification. And that right here is going to take, okay, so that right here is going to be mock.pay ride, and that's going to take a ride fee. But in this case, I think the ride fee is no longer needed because we already have the price embedded in our ride. So we just have end of ride instead. I'm getting rid of that. And over here, I'll have, so a pay ride should take a, this should be a ride of end of ride, like that. And your ride receipt is going to be a, well, it doesn't know what fee is. Your ride receipt takes a, should be an end of ride. And then we should call that ride. We should call that ride. And that should be a ride dot ride, whatever. Something like that. But this ride is supposed to be an end of ride. So that's this right here. And our fee should be our ride dot price, ride dot ride dot, ride dot. And yeah, I don't like this right here. That's pretty dumb. I can write a function to handle that. Payment type equals card. Okay. So up here, the sum ride fee, I think, is obsolete. Okay. And down here, this pay ride, we have our ride receipt that takes a end of ride. So we put ride right here. And that's happy. It's ride receipt query. That's going to be some ride or some end of ride. Some end of ride, something like that. Okay. Control Shift B. We don't need this result.ok here. We don't need that result.ok there. And it looks like we don't have any issue. Yeah, we do. It says, if I go over here, this pay fee, you take some validated card, you pay ride, and it is mock dot some end of ride. Okay. You tend to build that again, and everything builds. Now, if we go back again to our test that a fee is deducted after a ride, then we have our pay ride, which takes a validated card. So you could say mock dot some validated card, and you can pipe that into a pay ride, and that pay ride is going to take a end of ride, which ride end of view model probably should expose. Something like ride end of view model dot, should say dot ride. So over here, we need to expose the end of ride as a property. And so you can have ride here, and then you can have a let mutable, start over, let mutable ride, what just happened, equals, and you can say end of ride, like that. Okay. And these two right here can be ride, like that. And there must be order in this house, like that. Okay, Control Shift B. And I'll probably get an error on my test because I didn't fill out the final argument. At least I don't think so. And as soon as Visual Studio stops locking up or freezing, then that pay ride is going to be, actually, I'll just do this right here. This right here is going to be a result. So we pipe that into a function that is going to be a pattern match on OK something. right? Or it's going to be an error, something. Okay. Now what? Well, maybe we could do something like here, and we can do something like that. Okay. And so when we want to pay a ride, that's going to result in a ride receipt. So this is called a receipt. Okay. If it's an error, then I think it should just be it doesn't have anything for an error. We'll just call that a message, something like that. Okay, now what? Well, with our receipt, we should, fee is deducted after ride. We should just say if it's an error, then we do a cert fail, just like that. Then we can basically bring that up here. Let's do that. Okay. And that should be ride ended. This should maybe be pay for ride. I don't know, something like that. Control Shift B. And this can be okay here. We get a ride receipt. Okay. And so now if I attempt to get rid of this ignore and I try to run all the tests, then everything is green. Okay. So in retrospect, fee is deducted after ride. This is the test. Do that. Bring that back. And this red green refactor, eventually this is going to be thrown inside some other piece of logic, and it's going to be extracted from the actual test itself. This right here. And yeah. I don't like this. I'll put this back again. Okay. All right, so this is the test for fee is deducted after ride. This right here, this belongs in some logic somewhere outside the test, red green refactor. So this needs to get refactored into some actual like app infrastructure. I'm not so sure that this belongs in a view model. But this is basically an event. An event that a ride has ended. And I'm gonna end this video right now.